Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. We will consider the 16th Ashtapadi of Sukhmani Sahib, Gaudi Sukhmani Mahalla Panjwa, and we will begin with the Salok and then follow with the Ashtapadi. Salok Roop na Rekh na Rang Kish, Tre Gun te Prabh Pin, Tiseh bujaye Nanaka, Jis hove so prasann. Tise bujhaye Nanaka, Jis hove so prasann. Bujhaye, to guess. It's like solving a riddle or solving a mystery. That is the sense in which bujhaye is. Discernment. Tise bujhaye. The self, it reveals its mysteries to those who earn its pleasure. Jis hove so prasann, pleasure. And what is the mystery? Roop na Rekh na Rang Kish, that which is formless, without feature or color. Tre gunate Prabh Pin, that Prabh, that self, beyond the senses, unconstrained by the three so-called gunas or qualities, universals, sato, rajo, tamo. The idea being that it is these three qualities that actually, out of which the functionality of the universe emerges. So what does it mean really to earn the self's pleasure? So prasann. The idea is that when we follow the path of Guru wisdom through the process of Simran Nam Japana, which is mentioned again and again in Gurbani, a transformation little by little begins to take place within ourselves, and we, measure by measure, assimilation by assimilation, start looking like the self or become the likeness of the self. What that means is that we become slowly attuned to hukam or naam, which is really self-knowledge. We begin to harmonize with the world. And in that harmony is pleasure. That is the pleasure of the self. And now we come to the Ashtapadi. So here is the central idea, is this thing, the self that is formless, without color. What the Guru does is help us realize that there is this formless self that is the source of everything, but we can't see it with our eyes. And that is the lesson. Abinasi prab man mein rakh, manukh ki tu preet tyag. Now that's the very first advice we get. Forsake worldly love, and in its place, develop mindfulness of the imperishable self. You see, the first thing you have to do is withdraw the senses from the world around you. That doesn't mean you have to forsake the world, but it means you have to practice non-attachment of the senses to things. You have to become mindful of the self within. So that's the first step. And then you have to recognize gradually, and this is the training, this is the process. Tiste pare nahi kish koe, sarv nirantar eko soe, ape bina, ape dana, gher gambhir gahir sujana, par brahm parmesar gobind, kripa nidhan dayal baksind, साध तेरे की चरणी पाओ नानक के मन ए अनराव. Now, these are descriptions of that self the fact that it is all pervasive, that it contains everything, that it is profound, that it is deep, that it is abreast of everything, that it is the supreme being and the master of the universe. So, therefore, it is this self that we are aiming for. Nanak says, my longing is to throw myself at the feet of your sads, meaning those who have accomplished to touch the self, make a connection with the self. What that means is Guru wisdom. We have to find instruction from the Guru on how we develop this mindfulness. And then more description of the self. It's what it does. Mansa Puran Saran Jog, Jokar Paya Soi Hog, Haran Paran Jaka Netra For, Tiska Mantra Na Jane Hor, Anand Roop Mangal Sad Jake, Sarv Thok Sune Ghar Take, Raj Mehraj, Jog Meh Jogi, Tap Meh Tapisar, Kirast Meh Pogi, Dhyaye Dhyaye Bhakta Sukh Paya, Nanak Tis Purkh Ka, Kine Ant Na Paya. Again, the emphasis is, it is the fulfiller of all aspirations. Our lives are being played out by the script that the self has actually written. It can create and destroy in a flash, but by nature it is blissful. And it is through its nature that we can actually experience joy within us. Again, through constant mindfulness. More description of this self that we need to capture. Jaki Leela ki mit nahe, sagal dev hare avgahe, pita ka janam ke jane poot, sagal paroi apne soot, sumat gyan dhyan jin de, jan das naam te ave se. तह गुण में जाको परमाए, जन्म मरे फिर आवे जाए, ऊंच नीच तिसके अस्थान, ऐसा जनावे तैसा नानक जान. Essentially the fact that we cannot take a measure of this self, because even the gods, the deities, grew weary trying to unravel this mystery. And it is not possible, the Guru says, for us to unravel this mystery, because how can that be? How can a child know anything about the birth of its father? It's possible. All we can know is that we are strung around by the will of this Creator, like beads of a rosary. And only those who have awakened through Guru wisdom to self-knowledge understand this mystery. The rest of us are deluded by the senses, and therefore the cycle continues, birth and death, endless. However, the point being made here is, both of these states of self-knowledge and being conditioned by the senses have been given to us at birth. We come with haume. That is what is conditioning of the senses. And we have to exceed our haume. Nana roop nana jaake sang, nana pekh kare ik rang, nana bid kino bistar, prab abnasi ekankar, nana chalit kare khin mahe, पूर रहे पूरन सब ठाहें, नाना बिद करे बनत बनाई, अपनी कीमत आपे पाई, सब घट तिसके सब तिसके ठाओं, जप जप जीवै नानक हर नाओ. So here, now is plural. It refers to the names of things and objects in the universe of the self. So many and diverse are the manifestations of the self, and many are its ways. Yet, through all of this diversity, it remains essentially unchanged by nature. Many are the methods of the self that it displays and puts on many shows, but in all of this, it remains eternal and diffused within the show. So, for us, the instruction says, Nanak, I live by contemplation of self-knowledge. You see the direction in which the Guru is constantly pushing us. And then, talking about now, speaks about Naam. In this subsection of the Ashtapadi, Naam is being referred to as the mind of the self, the cosmic intent, the creative potency. We receive it as self-knowledge. Naam ke tare sagale jant, Naam ke tare khand brahmand, Naam ke tare simrat ved puran, Naam ke tare sunan gyan dhyan, Naam ke tare agas patal, Naam ke tare sagal akar, नाम के तारे पुरिया सब पवन, नाम के संग उदरे सुन श्रवण, करी कृपा जिस अपने नाम लाए, नानक चौथे पद में सो जन गत पाए. नानक चौथे पद में so jan gat paye. Now this is important to understand because recall the Guru has talked about tre gun. Those are the three states that bind us to the senses in which the material world functions. But the Guru is speaking about Chautha Pad. This is the fourth dimension, so to speak, literally speaking, in which self-knowledge becomes evident. And so therefore this creative potency, Naam, it is the support of the entire creation, and that's the description here. All creatures, all parts of the universe, these scriptures are inspired by Naam. Those who listen to the scriptures find grace, Naam. Naam is what holds the heavens and the lower regions together, all planets, everything. And therefore, in its mercy, it bestows self-knowledge. It elevates the mind to the fourth dimension. Roop Sat, Jaka Sat Asthan. Sat here literally means truth, but it also means existence. So it is displaying itself as existence. It is the truth, it is perpetual, it is existence. Roop Sat Jaka Sat Asthan. Purakh Sat Keval Pradhan. Purakh Sat, Purakh, that which is permeating everything, but it is also a symbol for cosmic consciousness. That cosmic consciousness is also perpetual, and it is the only thing that is pradhan, meaning presiding over this existence. Kartut Sat Satja Ki Bani. So the actions of the Creator, which are expressed through its laws, are perpetual, are true. Satja Ki Bani. Bani, it's speech, meaning the word. Sabad is also perpetual. It's the truth. Sat Purakh Sab Mahe Samani. This Purakh, this universal consciousness, is also present in everything. It's present in us. Sab Mahe Samani. Sat Karam Jaki Rachana Sat. And its grace is also perpetual. You see, perpetual is its grace. Its grace is its knowledge. Mool Sat Sat Utpat. It is the source, the true source of creation. Creation is a self-disclosure of that source. Sat Karni Nirmal Nirmali Jise bujhaye tise sab pali. Sat naam prabh ka sukhdai, biswas sat nanak gurte pai. So this naam, this self-knowledge that comes to us as self-knowledge, is perpetually in existence. And That alone is comforting, and it is received through the Guru Enlightener. And now the Guru speaks about the Guru Enlightener. Satta bachana sadhu yopadesa. The Guru Enlightener's instruction is about the self. Satate janaka hriday pravesa. Those who receive the instruction of the Guru Enlightener, in their hearts the self comes to abide, meaning it trickles down to the heart. It changes us. Sat nirt bujhe je koi, naam japatata ki gat hoy. So those who receive the instruction, their heart transforms, and when they receive that discernment, self-realization becomes possible. Ape jane apni mitgat, jiski srishta so karne har. The self alone knows its measure and worth, because the created cannot know the ways of the Creator. Nanak jo tis pave so vartaya. The Creator does as it pleases, and its pleasure is to be found in its hukam. You see the connection, the laws, the law, if you will, that the agency that actually, for want of a better word, runs the universe, the system. So the pleasure is embedded in that agency. And now this is the condition of those who actually have that discernment, who have awakened to Naam. Bismana bisama pae bismad jin bujya tis aya swad. Those who get discernment are transported into a state of ecstasy, of wonderment and bliss. Bisama bisama pae bismad jin bujya tis aya swad. They actually begin to take notice of the universe around them and come to harmony with it. Prabh ke rang rach jan rahe, gur ke bachan padarat lahe. Again, it is Gur wisdom, Gur bachani. The emphasis again is through Gur wisdom does such a state arise eventually. And these awakened ones in turn tend to the pain of others and serve humanity. Jan ka sevak so vatapagi. Jan ke sang ek liv lagi. So in their company, you're fortunate to find the company of the Guru Enlightener, because you find the Chautha Pad, which is Bismana Bisma Bhaye Bismad, ecstasy and bliss, service of humanity. So it is through the grace of the Guru Enlightener that one's life eventually becomes fruitful. On that note, until the next time, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.